another fantastic evening in Karachi, and tonight it's not going to be about Pakistani flavors, it's all going to be about Sichuan flavors. I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's head into their kitchen. Lazy Kitchen. Right, it's a new concept, it's a new restaurant, it's just opened up in the pandemic. They only do deliveries, and he's going to make a steak with truffle rice. That's the steak. That flame is absolutely soaring. Lots of garlic going in. Dark soy sauce, okay. The smell is just amazing and it's just filling up. Wow, that soy sauce actually catches fire. So he takes that out, so I guess he rests it and doesn't sort of cook it. Wow, that's water, right? So the water accumulates all that dark soy sauce. He's just cleaning out the pan, getting rid of all that burnt garlic. In goes some eggs. He's stirring that around. That's pre-fried rice gonna go in now. And he puts the steak back in. Spring onion, some corn, white pepper, more dark soya. And dark soya just smells amazing. I'm not sure if you can hear me over that massive flame, but let me tell you why we came here tonight. There's a massive tradition within in the last 40 years in Pakistan and India of Indo-Chinese food. And so I was actually looking for Indo-Chinese restaurant, and I called around and I actually spoke to Maha, who's the owner of this place, and I said I want some Indo-Chinese, and she was grossly offended. She said there's no Indo-Chinese here, that's full of tomato sauce, we do Sichuan. This is truffle oil. Now personally, when Indo-Chinese food is done well, I do like it, but I am intrigued by what Maha calls her authentic Sichuan dishes. And the smell is just amazing. Okay, that's our first dish out of the way. And now the next chef is coming with this is called the lazy chicken. So that's pre-fried chicken, some garlic and some ginger. Okay, so it's Kashmiri, Sichuan, and whole chili. So there's 3 types of chilies. He's thrown the chicken in, the pre-fried chicken in. Some more spring onions, some scallions, onions, peanuts. Oh, this looks amazing. Sesame seeds, some more dark soya. Oh wow. Great, that's the dish. So that's the lazy chicken. That's literally made in about 90 seconds. So they've given me a bit of an eating break so I can taste this while it's still super hot before they cook their next dish. Hot, like heat, like chili hot. I'm gonna have this as well. Just 1 spoon. I'll tell you more about the flavors later on when I do the proper eating. I can't wait to do the review section of the show. It's going to be amazing. Let's continue. Now we have some crispy honey beef coming up. So he's putting some garlic and some ginger. Sichuan chili. Chinese chili, Sichuan chili, yeah. Dark soya. Okay, so he's going to add some dark soya and add some light soya later. There's the honey. It's a nice, almost 2 tablespoons of honey just going in. And that's pre-fried crispy beef. It's just going to get a lovely coating now. So these are like big pieces of spring onion and scallions, not chopped up. So different parts of the onion. So it's both spring onion, just different parts. What immense skill, just tosses it up. So chili butter prawn, first they deep fry it very quickly, very hot oil. No batter, no marinade, just pure prawns getting deep fried. It's nicely fried. It's quite quick. All happened in about 35-40 seconds. And it's interesting, almost cooks it off the heat. That's big chunks of ginger, some green chilies, generous amount of green chilies. Some red chilies, generous amount of red chilies. It's a special chili paste. And all of that, the paste and the chili and the ginger is all mixing together. Oh, we're throwing a bunch of butter. Nice healthy amount of butter. The prawns have already been cooked, so I guess they're just going to be adding them right at the end so they can absorb the flavors. He's adding some water just to make it sizzle, to make it less thick. Cooking oil. Sugar. Oh, I can just imagine all that heat and the ginger with the sugar, it's going to give a really good flavor. And there's the prawns going in. Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. I'm going to taste this and I'm going to eat some more outside. This beef is crispy. This is the crispy honey beef, and it's really got some bite and some crisp. I'm trying to get some spring onion with it. The flavor and the texture. It's very, very crunchy, and while it's sweet, it's not overwhelmingly sweet. And the green onions just give it a variety of flavor. Chili butter prawn. They're not joking about the chili, and it has a vinegar. It added vinegar to it. Absolutely marvelous. I'm trying to get rid of one chili so I don't taste too much. I'm gonna have a bite of it now with the ginger and chili in the spoon. Wow, massive kick from the chili and the ginger, but it's amazing because it's so good. 2 more dishes. Okay, let's go. Okay, so you can see that massive wok is no longer on, so there's a lot more sound for us to hear each other. That massive gas is no longer picking up. So this is already it's already stuffed, pre-stuffed chicken wontons. Deep frying that. It's boiling it. Okay, so it's going to be soft. So that's chili oil and light soya. That's the dipping sauce, right? So the wontons are ready. That's dish number 5, and that's going to be soft, and it's going to really go down with that chili oil. Oh, and it goes straight into the chili oil. I assumed we're going to dip it, but that's just great. It just gets all that flavor. This is fried onion. Fried onion, and then some fried garlic. Oh, this is just going to be delicious. And there we go, some spring onion and some sesame. I mean, I didn't expect the dish to be like this, but I'm very excited about the fact that it is like this. I thought it was going to be just wontons and I was going to dip it in some sauce, and this is delicious. We'll taste this later. We're just going to let them finish because I'm guessing that's still quite hot. But our meal is accumulating, and we're on the final dish, which is the beef mala noodle soup. So noodles have already been frying in that big pot. This is what is this regular beef or short rib? It's short rib, yeah. So it's short rib beef that's already been cooked in spices. Sichuan spices. That's some water. You can just see as he enters the water, you can see the chilies rise up. They didn't add the chilies in, they were already in the beef. And there's the whole Sichuan chilies. Very hot, very spicy food. Maha told me before the shoot, she said, it's not as spicy as you think, because the idea is to eat around the chilies, not to eat every single chili. Just to have the chilies infuse the food, and you eat, I suppose if you want the odd chili, you can. But I can imagine eating all those chilies will be really, unless you expert hot eater, it's going to be a tough thing to do. So he just drains that. So all that sauce goes in, the beef stays on top. So that water now is at the bottom, which is I guess going to be the base of the soup, and it's infused with all that marinade from the beef. It's so interesting that they just used the beef and the marinade that the beef was cooked in to sort of infuse the soup. Add some more water. Light soya. Add that in. That's just going to boil and cook and provide the dish with the earthiness, the plantiness. Just taking out some of those chilies. There we go, and that's the final dish, the mala beef noodle soup. And it's going to go into that lovely bowl. And then we're going to be ready to try out all the dishes. So I'm going to start eating what I haven't yet eaten in the kitchen. And the first is going to be these Sichuan hot wonton noodles. I'm just going to actually eat it out straight out of the bowl. I'm going to try to get a bit of everything. A bit of scallions, a bit of fried onions, a bit of fried garlic, a bit of that chili oil without taking too much. This is chicken wonton. Again, you don't have all the chilies. Eat around the chilies. So you just have some of the chili because it's mainly just to add and infuse the flavor. I'm going to break this up for you so you can see what it looks like inside. That filling is really, really good. That's the chicken filling. It's almost like a small little chicken kebab. Bit of the fried onions, bit of the fried garlic, bit more. This is such good food. Everything I've been eating in Karachi is amazing. And this is spicy. The fact that it's spicy is possibly the one thing it has in common with a lot of the other food I've eaten. But the spices are different. I mean, besides the chili, the spices are different. Even the chilies are different. It's a lot more Sichuan chili. This dish is about $5.50. So, I mean, by Karachi standards, it's a bit on the pricey side. So it's only because it's a bit on the pricey side by Karachi standards, I'm going to give it a 9.7. It would be very close to 10 if it wasn't. Now to the mala beef noodle soup. Again, something I haven't yet tasted. It's like a very spicy version of ramen. They use short ribs, so this has probably been cooked beforehand for a very, very long time. A lot of chili in there again. Something that's difficult to eat without, you know, completely messing yourself. And it's hot. Wow. It's got a very peppery kick. Some of that bok choy. And it's not the kind of dish where you can eat very neatly, you know? It's a very spicy, hot soup. It's much easier to just take this bok choy up and tear it up with your hands if you're having difficulty. I know, judge me, fill up the comment section, do what you need to do best. Whatever makes you happy. I'm happy eating this, and making it easy to eat makes me even happier. I would say this is a difficult dish to eat, getting all the flavors in. But what I do like about it is that I've tasted everything just briefly, right? And this tastes like nothing else on the table. These flavors are very unique. It's almost like the beef has been pre-cooked with lots of pepper and lots of chili. And it gives it a spiciness, and it's got a huge, like, I mean, I can't explain to you the amount of pepper in this dish. It's very, 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 the soup is very, very aromatic. And bok choy is still crispy, so it gives it a crunchiness. It enhances the texture a lot. When I first tasted this, I was going to say, I like it a lot, but I don't know. This is a dish that, beforehand, I collaborated with Asghar to, you know, I told him what I like eating, and he recommended a few things, and then we sort of came up with a menu. And this is something I added onto the menu because it was a different item. And I mean, what I replaced it with is one of my favorites. I replaced it with black pepper steak noodles, which would have been, I really like that. You know, it just sounded amazing. But I don't regret it because it's a diversity of flavor and it's a very good dish. On this whole dish, it's more value for money than this. It's a big portion, and it's $7.50. So still by Karachi standards, not like, you know, not very, very cheap. But by global standards, it is very cheap. And this is a very good dish. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 9.6. It's very good. I gave it 9.7, right? So 9.6. This is very, very good food. This is just superb. This is the lizard chicken, and it's a very big portion. There's a lot of protein in here, and it's $6.25. So again, slightly more pricey than the other food you'll get in Karachi. But when I say the other food, I mean the street food. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's much more costlier restaurants. You can get some of those peanuts and garlic. I am gonna have one chili, just a bit of it. What's lovely about this is the chicken's pre-fried, the peanuts are crispy, the garlic, so the garlic and ginger also, it's also been cooked in that wok on high heat, so you get different textures. Everything's immaculate. Again, 9.7, like possibly 9.8. It's hard, it's really hard distinguishing between. Everything is really, really good. This is a house drink, it's pink lemonade. So this is just about $2.50, $2.60. Wow, it's rose lemonade, it's not pink lemonade, and you can get the rose flavor. Very interesting take. Again, this is a real, you know, fusion of flavors. I'm not sure if this is on the easy menu, on the lazy menu, but it's effectively it's the, you know, kitchens next to each other. So you drink it, right, and you get like a very light lemonade, and I thought that's nice because sometimes lemonades can be overwhelming, too much sugar, too much lemon, too salty. This was light, and then as it goes down your throat, you get the rose flavor, and it's very, very nice. What I like about this here, they're not messing around with the prawns. These are decently sized prawns, and it's a decently sized portion as well. I've already had one prawn. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 prawns there was in that portion, which is a decent amount of prawns, and that's just under $8. Considering prawns are quite sometimes more costly, that's not too expensive. And it's a very unique flavor. You're not going to find these flavors anywhere else, or you'll be hard to find these flavors anywhere else in Karachi. Get some more sauce. This is the kind of dish you'll have. I mean, if you're having it, you kind of need like some sort of noodle or rice to have it with, but we're just tasting it. And then I'm going to get to that steak with truffle steak rice. Again, I love the idea of these big chunks of ginger in this meal. Ooh. I love the fact that the prawns, while they were deep fried for quite a while on very high heat, they're not overcooked at all. And sometimes the danger with Oriental cooking, especially these kind of dishes, is the prawns get overcooked, and they're not at all. They're very succulent inside. The sauce has it's hot and added sugar, so it's sweet, sour, and it has a bit of vinegar in it. You know, sometimes you go to like a Pak Chinese, Indo-Chinese, even a proper Chinese place, and all the dishes sometimes they have this danger of tasting the same. You know, because it's soy sauce, garlic, ginger, oyster sauce, sometimes black pepper. That's the base, right? And what they've done is just by cutting the ingredients differently, cooking it in different ways, the dishes actually all taste quite different. Like not remarkably different, but they have different flavors, and that's so good. I like this a lot. I don't like it as much as the other dishes, so 9.5, but still very, very good. I mean, some of the best food I've eaten in Karachi, and I've eaten some really good in Karachi. I'm eating tonight. So now the truffle steak truffle fried rice. And I tasted this already, and what I love about it is the truffle oil. And I was hesitant when he suggested this. I mean, I don't really use truffle oil in rice. I mean, something in pasta, you do quite a bit. Some you do with mushrooms. I know I should be eating the whole piece of beef in one go. I get that. Okay, maybe I should, because it's... The truffle flavor comes through. It's not overwhelming, but it's not so subtle that you kind of have to feel around for it. It's there. It's staring in your face, but it's not like pungent and hits you and makes you feel you don't want any more. You kind of throw that in, just like as the wok was like not even on the heat, right? And so the corn's still kind of hard, which means there's different textures in the rice. There's 2 whole eggs in there, which is a lot of egg, but it doesn't feel like it's eggy at all. This is very nice. Also, you saw when he cooked it, right? He put these 5 or 6 pieces of beef in, and quickly set it on fire, and then took it out and discarded it, which means is the whole dish hasn't got a beefy flavor, which is kind of nice, because when you go out and you order Chinese, some dishes like this chicken and the prawns over there, you need a carb with it, right? And the last thing you want is to have a great chicken dish or a great prawn dish with some beefy rice. Maybe it's not the last thing you want. Maybe you love it, but I would not want it. I would prefer not to. But if you just discard the beef, the rice doesn't have a beefy flavor. It has a truffle flavor and it has the corn. You have the scallions. You have all the other flavors, the ginger, the garlic, the soy sauce. But you can actually do this, and it's totally fine. Yeah, it's almost like I'm having this prawn with some truffle fried rice. I'm gonna do it with the chicken as well. Let's see what it's like when you have that chicken with that truffle rice. I was almost tempted, you know, when they constructed the menu, I was like, maybe I should just have a vegetable fried rice. I even asked for it. And then like, listen, you really should go for this. And the reason why I wanted that is you kind of need like one starch that you can have with every other protein. Oh, so good. Wow, great dish. Again, this is just under $8, or about $8. 9.6, 9.7. Let's go with 9.65. But why? I'm actually going to give it 9.75 because, like I said, it allows you to eat every other dish and enhances every other dish because of that rice. It doesn't have a lot of beef, but I mean, that you're not paying for like loads of steak, right? But you kind of appreciate the fact that you have the starch now to go with the rest of your meal. It is such a fantastic place. So they brought us some gelato. This is red velvet with baked cheesecake. And this costs, it's about $2.50. It's very good. What I like about it is, you know, red velvet cake, the authentic sort of icing for red velvet cake is mascarpone cheese. And you kind of can get that flavor. I'm not sure if they use mascarpone, but there's that sourness of the cheese that's in the ice cream, which is very good. Very, very good. They've also brought me some. This is burnt caramel with almonds, with roasted almonds, toasted almonds. It's amazing how they've been able to simulate the burnt caramel taste without it becoming too bitter. It has a bitterness, which is kind of good. And you kind of need to tell yourself you're eating burnt caramel, right? Because you are. So you don't kind of get surprised by the bitterness. But the roasted almonds are also a really great trick. I'm gonna rate them both 9, both flavors. I think if you want to experience something different, I'm not sure how you know, I've only been in the city a few days, so I can't speak with authority on this. But my guess is you don't find these flavors of ice cream in many places in Karachi. And so for that, it's definitely worth trying. But in my own mind, I just think when you're in Pakistan, you must have kulfi. And kulfi is sublime. But I mean, really, you can't fault a ridiculously good tasting ice cream because kulfi is so sublime. You know, so it's kind of unrelated. But they're very, 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 very good ice cream. Again, so this is red velvet, baked cheesecake with red velvet, and burnt caramel with roasted almonds. I'm gonna keep this here because I want to have some of that crispy beef now. I'm gonna have it plain, but I'm also gonna have it with this rice. So this is the honey beef, right? This is crispy beef is a hard dish to sometimes get because the pieces of beef are quite thin and the batter is quite heavy. So sometimes there's this danger that like everything just becomes too crunchy. The beef almost becomes like beef jerky. That hasn't occurred here. The beef has a tenderness inside. It's rounded on the outside. It is crispy. It's got a sweet sauce, but it's not like I'm biting into a piece of jerky surrounded by batter, which is sometimes a danger with any Chinese crispy beef dish. Have it with this rice now. Again, this is about $8 for the portion, just under. I'm gonna give it a 9.6. The only reason, and look, this isn't an expensive place. It's just more expensive than street food. It's a bit more on the pricier side than some of the Karachi places that we've been going to. Just a bit more because the portions there are bigger. But this is the quality ingredients. It's really great. The only reason why nothing's getting 10 is because it's just slightly, and when I say slightly, just slightly more on the pricier side. But it's such a fantastic. Overall, I'm giving this a 9.9. Like, I think this is a must-do. I'm not sure what it's like. It's delivery only, so I'm not sure if you order the food back home. This kind of food. I mean, look, I waited a few minutes to eat some of these dishes, and they're still outstanding. But Chinese food is best eaten straight out of the wok. I think if I had to pick a favorite, it's hard. But it'd be between this dish. I mean, I've already rated it, right? But like, I can't remember what the ratings were. We can have to see the video. But it's this dish are the standouts, and as well this rice dish. Actually, you know what? They're all very good. It's hard to choose a favorite. They all complement each other. What I love about eating Chinese food, and the same goes for most Asian food, it's kind of family meals. You know, you can't go and get one thing. You can, but it kind of kills the whole idea. You're supposed to taste a bit of everything. I don't know if that's the whole idea, but that's what I've been doing my whole life. It's lovely when you go out with a family. You can order a bunch of dishes, taste a bit of each. Outside here, again, we've been eating outdoors because of the pandemic, but also, I mean, generally speaking, outdoor seating is something that happens. Sound of the traffic, these cheap decoration lights, which just kind of make it charming. I've had a good night. So look, our journey in Karachi is almost over. We have a few more shows and a few more nights, so keep watching and I'll keep eating. See you guys next time.